Hey there, Gator. My name is Praise, and I'm a senior majoring in biology here at the University of Houston downtown. I have been a Gator peer mentor for more than 2 years now, and I'll be talking about one of the 9 rules of the A Game book by Dr. Kenneth J. Sufka. This book is going to be very important for you to being a successful student at a college level. Let's get started. In this video, we will be focusing on rule number 2 of the A Game book. Never sit in cheap seats. What does that mean, you may be asking? Well, think about football games and music concerts. If you want to save money and also still enjoy the game or the concert, what seats would you buy? The front seats are certainly expensive than the back seats. Yes, those are the cheap seats I'm talking about. The back row seats in your lecture hall. Now let's examine the reasons why some students sit at the back of the class. Reason number 1, they are shy. Some students sit at the back of the class to remain anonymous and to avoid any form of exposure. They think sitting at the front of the class will have all eyes on them, but that is not usually the case. Number 2, the students sit at the back of the class because they want to avoid teachers calling on them. Well, instructors are very smart and they know that regardless of where you sit, you should be participating in the class. So really sitting at the back of the class doesn't really exclude you from being called by the teacher or by the instructor. This is why sometimes classes feel from the back to the front, and this shouldn't be so. Now let's examine the dangers of sitting at the back of the class. Number 1, when you sit in a back seat, you end up sitting with your friends, and then you talk about information or you have conversations that are not relating to the lecture being taught at the front of the class. This becomes very distracting and then hinders you from listening to the important information that the professor or the instructor is dispensing. Danger number 2. When you sit at the back of the class, you are more likely to go on your phone and read online news or gossips. Yes, that happens. Another thing that happens in the back seat is that students eat Chick-fil-A breakfast special for late breakfast. Yes, students end up eating and focusing on their hunger when they're supposed to be listening to the lecture that has been dispensed at the front of the class. Number 4, when students sit at the back of the class, they end up surfing the internet to watch funny cat videos on YouTube, surf Amazon Prime for that new gadgets they want to buy, or watch the new dance challenge on TikTok. Yes, that happens a lot. I personally have seen it in classes, and I can tell you it's a very bad distraction, and it leads to you losing information that is being taught in the class. Lastly, get this, some students even nap at the back of the class. Well, this is not new because it's something you and I have seen countless times. But this is not a good practice because sleeping, with no question, allows you to miss a lot of good information or important information that are being taught in the class, and that would let you be a successful student. Now, the question is, what can you, as a student striving to be successful, do to stop this deadly habit? Number 1, sit in the front row. This is the game changer. When you sit in the front row, you avoid all of those distractions that we've mentioned previously. Come early to class to take advantage of these seats. Every row you move back puts a dozen of potential distraction between you as a learner and your lecturer. This is what is mentioned in the A Game book. Another step you can take to stop this deadly habit is to turn off or put away your cell phones. Text messages and social media notifications could be a very bad distraction that could hinder you from listening to the lecture. In the A Game book, a study was conducted in a college setting, and the study showed that students who sit at the front of the class generally have higher grades than students who sit at the back of the class. Now, isn't that interesting? Another advantage of sitting at the front of the class is that it helps you get better notes. Dr. J. Sufka says in the A Game book that every distraction disconnects you from the material and you lose. You do not want to miss important details in your notes, and sitting at the front of the class or sitting in the front row will help you achieve that goal. To wrap this up, let's talk about how rule number 2 relates to rule number 1. Rule number 1 says that you should go to class always. Now, you don't want to go to class and miss important information from the class. You do not want to go to class and miss important information from the class. Yes, I just said it again. I was repeating it because it was very important. You do not want to go to class to miss important information from the class. And this is what rule number 2 allows you to do. It allows you to go to class and also get the most out of the class. You want to go to class and get the most out of the class. Yes, I did it again. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope you learned a lot from it and you enjoyed it. Yes to being a successful student, determined, dedicated downtown. Let's go, Gator.